After the controversial ending of Game of Thrones on May 19th, fans were left with a fantasy void and a wanting for more epic tales of betrayal and backstabbing which we grew to love in the first 4 seasons. In the final 2 seasons, seasons 7 and 8, where the book source material had run out, the story writing by the writers of the show started to feel rushed, with teleporting dragons and too many major plot endings too soon. The sloppy and rushed writing nosedived, and it really showed in the final season, with Starbucks coffee cups left out in plain sight, a water bottle under the chair, and all logic being tossed out the moon door, with Dany forgetting about the Iron Fleet and the horrendous plot armor in what was supposed to be the biggest on-screen battle of all time against an enemy that was built up over 7 seasons to be an unstoppable force who was stopped by a girl who can run in the wind whilst the rightful king of the 7 kingdoms shouted at a dragon. But there is still hope for Game of Thrones fans, with the announcement of an up-and-coming prequel series co-created by the man, the myth, the legend, and the genius behind Game of Thrones, George R.R. Martin. This video is going to be about everything we know about this up-and-coming series. So as of yet, there is no confirmed title for the show, although Blood Moon is thought to be the working title. There is also hinted at by George himself, The Long Night or The Longest Night, of which episode 3 of the 8th season was titled with the same name, which suggests it may be set around the creation of the White Walkers. This was later confirmed in a HBO synopsis. Hopefully the show will finally give us some reason why the White Walkers make weird spirals and want to kill the three-eyed raven, other than he is the holder of all knowledge, and once he goes, everything that makes us human dies with it, because there are books for that. HBO has also announced that the show will be set around 5,000 years before the events of Game of Thrones, chronicling the world's descent from the golden age of heroes into its darkest hour, where Westeros was split up into far more than 7 kingdoms in the era of the 100 Kingdoms, which has been rumoured to be another working title. Around this time, a race of men from Essos, called the Andals, had recently invaded Westeros, inhabited by the First Men, and set up many of the houses that we see in Game of Thrones. Over the centuries following the Andal invasion, the 100 Kingdoms slowly merged into larger territories to become the 7 Kingdoms, which is exciting because we could see the birth of the great houses such as the Starks and the Lannisters. This period also saw the height of the prosperity of the Kingdom of Valyria and the Giscari Wars, which ended in the Valyrians throwing down the Giscari in defeat and claimed territories such as Astapor, Yunkai, and Meereen, which we see in the Game of Thrones TV show. The show will feature an A-list celebrity cast such as Naomi Watts, John Sim, and Georgie Henley that you might know from The Chronicles of Narnia. If this show doesn't get your hopes up, then there are going to be 2 more spin-offs from Game of Thrones, both to be written by George, which could be Arya's adventures of the unexplored shores west of the 7 Kingdoms, a sequel series to Game of Thrones, or a closer prequel to Game of Thrones chronicling Aegon's conquest. Although with all these new series he is writing, will he ever finish writing his novel The Winds of Winter, so we can read how Game of Thrones truly should have ended? Let me know in the comments and stay tuned for more.